Insane. This pastor's private jet even shocked Donald Trump. Private jets worth more than small nations. Mansions with bowling alleys, theaters, and even airstrips. Pastors who preach sacrifice while living like billionaires. Welcome to a world so extreme that even Donald Trump's 100,757 looked modest by comparison. From Jesse Duplantis's $54 million Holy Falcon to Kenneth Copeland's personal airport, these men of faith have turned pulpits into palaces and donations into luxury fleets. But here's the shocker: millions still defend them, calling it divine blessing. What do you think? Are these leaders chosen by God, or are they exploiting faith for fortune? Subscribe now to Legends of Black Excellence. Donald Trump. Donald John Trump, born on June 14, 1946 in Queens, New York, is a man whose name has become synonymous with excess power and controversy. Long before he became the 45th President of the United States, Trump was already a household name thanks to his sprawling real estate empire, luxury branding, and over-the-top lifestyle that blurred the line between celebrity and politician. His rise began with the Trump Organization and What Trump Tower on Fifth Avenue. Among Trump's most famous symbols of extravagance is his customized Boeing 757 $100 million. The plane is outfitted with 24-karat gold-plated seatbelt buckles, leather seats, crystal lighting, and a private bedroom suite. A true airborne palace. This jet has been more than just transportation. It has served as a campaign stage, media set, and traveling emblem of his larger-than-life persona. Ironically, even Trump himself was said to be surprised by the extravagance of televangelists like Jesse Duplantis, whose $54 million Holy Falcon private jet rivaled his own flying fortress. Trump's lavish tastes don't end at the runway. He owns Mar-a-Lago, a 126-room estate in Palm Beach, Florida, often called the Winter White House. Valued at over $300 million, the $2 billion and $3 billion, depending on market conditions and property valuations. But with wealth came scandals. Trump has faced multiple bankruptcies in the casino industry, lawsuits over Trump University accusations of inflating property values for loans, while deflating them for taxes, and political firestorms throughout his presidency, 2017 to 2021. Still, he has maintained a fiercely loyal base, convinced that his bold style and unapologetic personality make him a champion of the people. Yet here lies the paradox. How does a man known for gold-plated penthouses and billion-dollar branding still connect with working-class voters who live paycheck to paycheck? Could it be his confidence, his defiance of elite norms, or simply the allure of a billionaire who promises to make America great again? Even after leaving office, Trump continues to dominate headlines with rallies, business ventures, and legal battles. Whether viewed as a populist hero or a symbol of unchecked greed, his influence on politics, media, and culture remains undeniable. His name is etched not only on buildings and aircraft, but in history itself, a reminder that power and extravagance can captivate millions for better or worse. Jesse Duplantis. When people talk about pastors living in prosperity, Jesse Duplantis often becomes the headline. Born in July 1949 in New Orleans, Louisiana, Duplantis built his ministry on charisma, humor, and a prosperity gospel message that promised abundance as proof of faith. Over the decades, his sermons and television broadcasts reached millions, but his legacy has become defined by something far less spiritual: his fleet of private jets and his astonishingly lavish lifestyle. By the late 1990s, Duplantis had already earned a reputation as a televangelist unafraid of big spending. His first private plane, a Cessna Citation 500, cost him around $20 million. Later came an IAI Westwind II worth $2 million and a Dassault Falcon 50 valued at $15 million. But the controversy truly exploded when Duplantis announced he was believing God for a Dassault Falcon 7X priced at $54 million. He defended the idea by famously saying, "If Jesus were alive today, he wouldn't be riding a donkey. He'd be in an airplane preaching the gospel all over the world." Critics were quick to point out the math. Operating a Gulfstream or Falcon jet costs about $6,000 per hour of flight time and $14 per mile. For comparison, a one-way ticket from New Orleans to Dallas on a commercial flight can cost as little as $20. Despite his claim that private jets actually save money through fuel farms on his property, watchdogs highlighted the staggering expense to maintain such planes. And when footage of him boarding his plane with his wife for short trips surfaced, public outrage grew louder. But the jets are only part of the story. In Destrehan, Louisiana, Duplantis resides in a 40,000-square-foot mansion built between 2008 and 2009, sitting on 45 acres along the Mississippi River. The estate, valued by some sources at $55 million, features 11 bedrooms, 13 bathrooms, marble floors, crystal chandeliers, a home theater, bowling alley, indoor pool, spa, fitness center, helipad, and even a private airstrip with an air dock for jets. While Duplantis claims the property cost him just $3 million and serves as both a residence and ministry headquarters, skeptics see it as the ultimate symbol of a theology that celebrates excess over service. Beyond planes and palaces, Duplantis is known for his jewelry luxury SUVs worth millions and statements that often spark outrage. He has called poverty a curse, questioned whether Jesus was truly poor, and brushed aside accusations of misuse of donations. In 2025, he abruptly left Daystar television network amid whispers of financial mismanagement, though he strongly denied any wrongdoing. For Duplantis, the answer seems clear. He views every mansion, car, and jet not as indulgence, but as ministry tools. Whether his followers see divine blessings or manipulation depends on which gospel they choose to believe, one of sacrifice or one of unimaginable wealth. Shepherd Bushiri. Shepherd Bushiri, born in 1983 in Malawi, is one of the most controversial figures in the modern prosperity gospel movement. Known as the Major One to his millions of followers, Bushiri built an empire that stretched across Malawi, South Africa, and beyond, fueled by miracle claims, flashy displays of wealth, and bold promises of financial blessings. But his story reads like a script where faith and fortune collide in spectacular fashion. By 2006, Bushiri had already become a national headline in Malawi when he acquired what was reported to be his third private jet in just 2 years, a Gulfstream 3 worth around $37 million, a figure that by today's valuation climbs closer to $55 million. At a glittering unveiling ceremony in South Africa, the Gulfstream manager introduced Bushiri as the youngest ever buyer of such a jet. Later, another of his aircraft, a Bombardier Challenger 604, was seized by South African authorities in 2020, amid allegations of fraud and money laundering. In 2025, a high court gave permission to liquidate the seized jet to recover money tied to ongoing criminal cases. Bushiri's lifestyle is anything but modest. His garage once boasted a $530,000 Rolls-Royce, a $320,000 Bentley Bentayga limited edition, an Aston Martin 177 worth over $600,000, and multiple Bentleys and Maseratis, including one Levante gifted to his young daughter for her birthday. His main residence, a $3 million mansion in Midstream Estate, was also seized after he violated bail. Yet soon after, he splurged on another $12 million mansion, showing that scandal did little to dim his appetite for grandeur. His followers believed him capable of miracles, curing illnesses as severe as HIV, and even raising the dead. But skeptics and courts called it deception. In 2017, congregants were urged to invest $300 each in a property scheme, promising 50% returns within 30 days. Many never saw a cent. Investigations later linked Bushiri to failed gold deals and fraudulent investment companies, leaving thousands of believers devastated. In 2019, he and his wife Mary were arrested in South Africa on charges of fraud, money laundering, and violating exchange control laws, with accusations tied to more than $6 million in scams. Despite bail, the couple fled to Malawi in late 2020, sparking international outrage. By March 2025, A Malawian court ruled that 10 of 13 charges met extradition standards, including fraud, racketeering, and immigration breaches. Yet Bushiri continues to evade trial, portraying himself as a victim of political persecution while still commanding loyalty from a core group of followers. Do you think people follow Bushiri because of his promises of miracles, or because his wealth makes him appear chosen by God? For critics, his tale is one of exploitation using faith to line his pockets. For supporters, he is a prophet under attack. Either way, Shepherd Bushiri stands as one of the most striking examples of how religion, power, and money can create not only a global ministry but also a legacy clouded by scandal. Creflo Dollar. When you hear the name Creflo Augustus Dollar Jr., it sounds more like the title of a Wall Street magnate than a preacher. Yet Dollar, born in 1962 in College Park, Georgia, became one of America's most famous prosperity gospel pastors. As founder of World Changers Church International, his ministry reaches thousands each week in person and millions more through television and books. But he's known less for fiery sermons and more for a lifestyle of extreme luxury that rivals Fortune 500 CEOs. Dollar's story took center stage in 2015 when he launched a campaign to raise $65 million for a brand new Gulfstream G650 private jet. The justification. He claimed his aging Gulfstream G3 purchased in 1999 had logged over 4 million miles and suffered dangerous malfunctions, including an engine failure near Hawaii and a nose strike in London. He insisted the church needed a safer, more advanced plane to spread the gospel quickly and carry humanitarian supplies. Critics, however, pointed out that the G650 only carries about 500 pounds of baggage, far from the thousands of pounds of aid Dollar implied. Despite global backlash, the project went ahead. By 2024, Dollar was reportedly flying not just one but 3 private jets, including a Gulfstream G4 and a Learjet 60. His love of grandeur didn't stop at the skies. His real estate portfolio once included a 17,000-square-foot mansion in Atlanta, valued at nearly $4 million, a $2.5 million New Jersey estate, and a Manhattan condo purchased for $3 million and later sold for $3.75 million. Cars. Back in 2007, he was cruising in 2 Rolls-Royces, including the almighty Phantom Drophead Coupe, worth $460,000. Today, he's known to prefer a sleek Mercedes-Benz S-Class valued at around $500,000. But alongside his empire came turbulence. In 2012, police responded to a 911 call from his teenage daughter who accused him of choking and striking her during an argument. Deputies noted a scratch on her neck and he was charged with battery and cruelty to children. Dollar denied wrongdoing, claiming the mark was eczema. The charges were later dismissed after he completed an anger management program and community service. Dollar's controversies extend beyond his family life. In 2009, California businessman Devin Lawson sued him for allegedly stealing the concept of a text message devotional service called Word on the Go, claiming it generated tens of millions in revenue. From 2007 to 2011, Dollar was also one of 6 televangelists scrutinized by the U.S. Senate Finance Committee for misuse of tax-exempt donations. Although no charges resulted, his refusal to fully cooperate fueled suspicions. Whether seen as a visionary pastor or a symbol of excess, Creflo Dollar embodies the most polarizing elements of the prosperity gospel. His name has become shorthand for wealth in the pulpit, proof that in modern ministry, faith and fortune are sometimes indistinguishable. David Oyedepo. Bishop David Olaniyi Oyedepo, born in 1954 in Osogbo, Nigeria, is often described as the richest pastor in Africa and one of the most influential religious leaders in the world. As founder of Living Faith Church Worldwide, also known as Winners Chapel International, Oyedepo presides over a spiritual and business empire that stretches across continents. His message blends Pentecostal zeal with prosperity theology, and his lifestyle reflects that teaching in the most extravagant ways imaginable. The Nigerian preacher's association with luxury first drew attention in 1996, when he acquired his first jet, a Hawker Siddeley 125, dedicating it publicly to God. By 2004, another Hawker was added, followed in 2008 by a Challenger 604, and then a Gulfstream 5 in 2011, valued around $30 million. Today, he is said to operate a fleet of 4 jets, a Gulfstream 1, Gulfstream 4, Gulfstream 5, and a Challenger 605. When critics attacked him for extravagance, Oyedepo's response was unapologetic. "We're just changing planes like we change bicycles." He insisted these planes were gifts from God, not purchased with church offerings. But private jets are just the beginning. His vehicles include a $500,000 Rolls-Royce Phantom, a $300,000 Lexus LX 570, and a $500,000 Range Rover Vogue, along with fleets of SUVs gifted by congregants. In 2013, church members reportedly donated 700 luxury cars during a single event, some of which went to Oyedepo himself. His real estate holdings are equally impressive. He resides in a multi-million-dollar mansion inside Canaan land, a sprawling estate of thousands of acres near Lagos. The complex includes schools, banks, publishing houses, power plants, and the Faith Tabernacle, a church auditorium that once held the Guinness World Record as the largest in the world, seating 50,000 worshippers. His empire hasn't avoided controversy. In 2015, a Nigerian stockbroker sued Oyedepo and his church over a $7.2 million stock investment, seeking damages of $1.5 million. The case dragged on before being settled out of court. More recently, contractors have accused Winners Chapel of failing to pay for services rendered, leading to lawsuits that forced the church to make compensation payments. Yet Oyedepo remains unshaken, often dismissing critics as envious of his blessings. Despite the controversies, Oyedepo commands loyalty from millions. He oversees schools and universities, including Covenant University, one of Nigeria's leading private institutions. His books and sermons on faith and prosperity have sold widely, reinforcing his influence across Africa. Supporters see him as a man fulfilling God's promise of abundance, while detractors view him as the embodiment of excess in modern religion. Either way, Bishop David Oyedepo stands as a towering figure in the intersection of faith, wealth, and power, a man whose empire rivals that of multinational corporations. Kenneth Copeland. Few names in American televangelism provoke as much debate as Kenneth Copeland. Born in 1936 in Lubbock, Texas, Copeland began his career as a recording artist before turning to ministry. Over the decades, he built Kenneth Copeland Ministries, KCM, into one of the world's largest prosperity gospel empires, with television broadcasts, conferences, and a massive 500-acre campus near Fort Worth, Texas. But his ministry has become best known for extraordinary displays of wealth, especially his private jets. In 2017, Copeland purchased a Gulfstream 5 from actor Tyler Perry in a cash deal valued at about $10 million, though the jet originally cost around $36 million when new. Soon after, his ministry raised another $19.5 million for upgrades, runway expansions, and hangar improvements, effectively transforming KCM's property into a private airport. In addition to the Gulfstream 5, his fleet has included a Cessna Citation X 2005 and even a 1962 Beech H-18, with another smaller plane donated by a supporter in 2007. Copeland defended his acquisitions by saying the Holy Spirit had set aside that plane for the ministry. What shocked many was not just the spending, but his explanation. In an infamous 2019 interview, Copeland said flying commercial would mean getting in a long tube with a bunch of demons. To him, private jets were not luxury, but necessity, claiming that without them, 70% of his ministry's work would grind to a halt. Yet his lifestyle goes far beyond aviation. Copeland lives in an 18,000-square-foot mansion overlooking Eagle Mountain Lake in Texas, purchased by his church for around $7 million. His garage boasts a $460,000 Rolls-Royce Phantom, a $370,000 Rolls-Royce Cullinan, a $95,000 Lexus LX 570, and more. His collection of watches is just as extravagant, with at least 37 Breitling timepieces and a custom Rolex Submariner worth about $18,000. But luxury has brought scrutiny. In the late 2000s, Copeland's ministry was one of 6 investigated by the U.S. Senate Finance Committee, led by Senator Chuck Grassley. Investigators probed whether tax-exempt donations were funding personal luxuries like jets and vacation trips. Public records revealed ministry-owned planes had been used for travel to vacation spots like Hawaii and Colorado. Copeland Ministries refused to provide detailed records, and though the inquiry ended without penalties, critics argued the lack of transparency spoke volumes. Despite the scandals, Kenneth Copeland remains one of the most enduring figures of the prosperity gospel. His empire includes media studios, a private airstrip dubbed the Kenneth Copeland Airport, and a global following convinced that wealth is a sign of divine blessing. To his critics, however, he is the ultimate example of how religion and riches can become dangerously intertwined. We've walked through private jets worth tens of millions, sprawling estates the size of small towns, and pastors who live like kings while preaching sacrifice. From Jesse Duplantis' $54 million Holy Falcon to Kenneth Copeland's claim that commercial flights are tubes full of demons, the line between faith and fortune has never looked blurrier. Supporters say these leaders are simply blessed proof that belief brings abundance. Critics argue it's exploitation, turning donations into mansions and runways. So what do you think, are these men examples of divine favor? Or are they selling the gospel for gold legends of black excellence?